This is still priced right, and it's a good hatch. My biggest confusion, honestly, is you go to the website and they call it a CUV, which is complete horse crap. It is not, it's a good hatch. Welcome to Texas Truck Channel. I'm Brian.
I'm Craig.
And this week we have something very blue for you, which is fine with me. That is a 23 Kia Soul GT line. And yes, it's on Texas Truck Channel because Kia claims this is a crossover, which also means it's going up our hill test in a future video. That's going to be very interesting. We'll see how that goes. But anyways, this one is covered in Neptune blue, and I like the color a lot. It's not metallic, but it looks just like the blue that you found on the Kia K5 sedan. I'm very happy with it all in all. Also, this has the technology package, which I'm going to turn the lights on real quick for the people because it has an LED light package. All right, those lights look awesome, and something Kia has been good about for quite a long time now is the lighting package. It is bespoke, and if you see it drive at night, you can just tell exactly what it is. I like that a lot. That is paired up with the GT line technology package. It's $2,400, and it gives you that, heated seats, the sunroof, and all the driver assist stuff, which includes the lane keep and the radar cruise and the start stop auto stuff, which works quite well. And look, the beauty of this car is all in with a sunroof and the hardened carbon stereo, which is a part of the tech package, the good wheels, the good paint, all the stuff that you get. And by the way, it's really, really quiet on the highway. We'll talk about that more later. $27,000 all in, loaded out. In today's day of COVID, I know this same pre-COVID would have been 25, but that's a lot of car for the money. And it's got a lot of room, and a lot of headroom too, which I like that. So we'll get into more of that in a minute. The nose is very bespoke. This is the latest generation. It's not like the first one you ever saw. The lights are thinner, and you've got this behind glass right here on the Kia emblem.
Which I think is the neatest detailing trick they've done on this. And this is a small car that's a lot of thought behind
high
that.
design, yeah. You look in here too, you've also got the texture behind it that you find on the other, like the Telluride and things like that. This is not just some cheapo car.
They need credit for that.
They absolutely do. You do have multiple textures down here too. You've got, which Craig doesn't like too many colors at once, but I think he's okay with this one. You've got blue, you've got black, you've got some satin gray, and it's kind of a lower chin comes around here. And also your radar cruise is down low. Look, I wish it was integrated with this, but I get it. If the Kia, not KN, if the Kia logo was that big, it'd be kind of weird, so they made that work.
Can I ask you about the KN?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Why do people think it's an N if it's backwards? I think it's a backwards N?
Yeah, people just,
okay.
I don't know, just like mine, they're okay with it. I don't understand. I've had a ton of people go, what's a KN? It's a Kia. So anyways, let's come on down and check out wheels and tires. You do get these directional, to Craig's demise, 18-inch wheels, which I'm fine with, but I've had a couple people say that looks like a Korean Ninja Star, and they do not like it at all. Like they've been personally offended by it. Mason, you know who I'm talking to. I'm fine with them. They're fine.
The wheel's going backwards on this side.
Yeah, but they're going forward. On the other side, it balances. Yin and yang. It's okay. The reality is this is a funky car. It has a funky history. You're going to have to expect some of that stuff. That's how it's going to be. Now, wrapped around it are the Hankook, Ventus, S1 Nobles. We've driven these before. Highway tire, it's fine. Handles okay. They're 500 tread wear, so it tells you they're not that serious about traction. And they're going to last a fairly long time. So not complaining there. 235, 45, 18s. Painted mirror cap. Again, on cheap cars, I'm not saying cheap, that this is cheap, but for this segment, a lot of times this is a flat black, but this is paint matched. I like that a lot. You do get the floating roof design here, meaning this pillar is painted and there's a spider right there. Not anymore. Yeah, he'll be okay. Look up top, Craig. You do have these black rails that go all the way down. There's not a roof rail on here, but you can mount, if you pop these off with a tool, you can mount full on stuff up here, bike racks, kayaks, all that kind of stuff. I don't know if you're gonna go rooftop with this, but they say it's a crossover. I'm sure someone has. Fuel door check. Oh, that's right. It's a Kia. There it is. I think we know where this is going, and it's going to a cap system, not capless, but you do have a holder. It doesn't work very well, so I'm going to call it an overall fail in terms of gas cap.
It's just a fail.
It's just a straight up fail. Yeah. Come on to the back. I want to show these rear tail lights. This is pretty cool. This is what I like the most about it, is this lights up at night when the rest of the car is blacked out. Signature look. Looks very cool. I'm okay with it. One of my complaints being a taller driver is when I go to get the rear hatch open, I actually have to lean over to grab it. If you're not that tall.
It is pretty low.
It's pretty low. I feel like, naturally you think it should be here somewhere. Like intuitively you would think it would be there. Not the end of the world, small complaint, but it is down low. It is right here. You do have backup camera, which is actually really good. All right, the last thing to talk about in the rear before we go to the powertrain in front is, look at this USB port. Oh, I'm sorry, no, that's more HDMI. Look at that thing. Duals down the middle. Look, it looks awesome. I'm sure like on Rev Limiter, it just does this jiggle thing. Look at that. This is like what you see on Top Gear close-ups when they're doing track stuff. The problem is what's bolted to the other end of that pipe, and let's go talk about that real quick. You guys ready? There it is. Okay.
Look at that. Look at that. Why'd you try to push it up?
I don't know what I was thinking. Look, that's nice to have. My Velociter N does not do that.
Premium cars don't have that.
Premium cars don't have that. A lot of premium cars don't have that. So look at you, Soul. Okay, look, I have joked for years that the Kia is not the Soul, it's the Soulless. I'm not right about that. But in terms of the transmission, I am absolutely right about that, and we'll talk about that more on the drive. This powertrain is a 2-liter, naturally aspirated 4-cylinder, makes 147 horsepower, and it's good for 132 foot-pounds of torque, which is actually totally fine to run this thing around town. The issue with this is it's bolted to a worthless CVT transmission, and that's not a jab at just this, it's most CVTs on the road today. And we'll talk about that more on the drive again, but that's the problem here. My major issue is that there is no other option in 2023. You have to go 2-liter NA, you have to go CVT. In the past, Craig, you had turbos, you had EV power plants in here. Kia Soul EV was a thing once. You had 6-speed autos, you had manual transmissions, you had 1.6s and this 2-liter. You had a lot to do. This has been a really versatile platform for Kia, and it's been shared. There's a lot of this is shared with every small Kia made. The Kona, the freaking Seltos, the Velociter, they all share a lot. Not the exact same platform, but they feel similar. The issue here is that you're limited, and I'm wondering, Craig, if Kia's giving up on the Soul.
Ooh.
Let's check out the interior.
All right, Brian, time to check out the interior of the Kia Soul. But before we get there, Brian, you already mentioned it. These taillights, that's the signature look of the Soul. I love it. But no longer does it look like the headphone signal or the phone signal.
Oh, good point. Yeah, that's true.
All right, so yeah, you reach way down here to pop it up, and then because it's such a big door, you make sure it doesn't hit you in the face.
It's good for your plot.
But it opens well, and that's a big opening.
Yeah,
that is pretty cool. We got plenty of room for our stuff back here. But I'm going to pull them out and show you all some things. Because this is pretty neat right here. This little privacy thing.
I like that a lot.
And actually, it moves.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool. You can take it out, fold the seats down. Under here, you get a spare tire.
Whoa, look how low that goes.
Get to. That's, it's a decent temporary spare.
I wonder if this can go.
Right. Exactly. And so then you get a lower floorboard, and then you take this bad boy out, and we fold the seats down. And check this out. Now we got a really functional. I'll get my coffee out of here. Let's see. Fold this one down.
Oh, and that's where the floor comes up.
Look at that, so, right.
So you put the floor at this height, it's level with...
Yeah, we'll put it back so we can show the people that. The people want to see that, Brian.
So if you are running, you can put it under the false floor. I mean, not that you would do that.
But no, look, this is a really functional package. Yeah. Very kind of Honda Fit-ish, that sort of thing. The packaging in this thing is really good. Let's continue around in the middle. Moving on to the middle, let's put these seats up. And Brian, let's start with the door like we always do. The door's got a unique detail because it's the GT line. We get this red, which kind of clashes with everything else, but it's kind of cool, and it continues around the speaker treatment. Oh, I think that's a fake speaker right here where the handle is. Yeah. The real speaker is a little further down here. But you do have a Hydro Flask bottle right there. Yep. And then we move into the back, and Brian, your kids have been back here. I've sat back here. My kids have sat back here. There's kind of a lot of room.
A lot of room back here.
And you get a center armrest that actually is at a decent height that doesn't make you drop to the floor. And look down here in the middle, we get USB-C, 2 outlets. They've moved on to the modern century.
It's for 2 modern children.
2 modern children. You get a mat pocket back here. No mat pocket back here. You can only navigate from one side as usual. And Brian, let's see if you fit, because this is a tall roof. And there's no panoramic roof. Maybe you'll make it.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Look at this.
That's what I'm saying.
Wait a second. Wait a minute. Why does this work and a Toyota Tundra with a sunroof does not work?
And other full-size trucks, F-150 and a bunch
crossover. Yeah. Actually, a ton of cars don't do that. So look, I've always joked that when the roof line's too low, the designer's won. Turns out when it's a funky design, the designer still won, and so did I.
I mean, it's impressive. Okay, let's move on to the front.
All
right, moving on to the front, Brian. Let's start with the door pocket. We get the same treatment we get in the back. We get that red up front, and then we get the fake speaker grill. But around that fake speaker grill up front here, Brian, there's an LED strip in that red.
Yep.
That will pulsate and match to the beats of the music, which is pretty cool. You can turn that off or on if it's too distracting. You get a nice Harman Kardon branded speaker grill, and then plenty of room for a Texas Truck Channel, a Hydro Flask bottle. Show the people. That's a homemade job. If you want one, let us know. We'll send you one.
Also, right here, Craig, the LED is behind this grid as well.
Oh, very good, very good. And then we move on into the driver's seat, Brian. It's just comfortable. As some people have told me, look, small cars with tall roofs, they're pretty comfortable and pretty practical, and that rings true here. We get a nice moonroof that is good because we don't need a pano, and it works, and it's just easy to operate. That's nice. Tech package, Brian, let's just talk about that. That's what we care about. Starting up here, we get the instrument cluster. We get purple, and then we also get red for sport mode, and then we don't have any other modes. We only have 2 modes. We have normal and sport, but you can actually go into the menu settings, and hang on here, you can get a different color, and that is teal green, and you can make it link to the drive mode or just stay in those modes. It's kind of an interesting display. It's like an electroluminescent. It's not an actual digital display there. That actually, you can see it in the daytime. You can see these numbers kind of are set back in the screen, and then the center display, you get all your normal pages. You can change things, miles per gallon, all that fun stuff, lane keep, all that fun stuff. Just like any Hyundai Kia, the wipers and light stalks work great, and they tell you what mode you're in. Gosh, everybody needs to do that. This is a lower priced car, lower tiered price car, and it works the way it should be. And
it's intuitive.
It's intuitive. They got ergonomics figured out, and it continues back here. We get a little mini funky inspiration here.
Pods.
We got
round pods.
Look, anything else it would be square or just molded to the steering wheel. No, we get a unique steering wheel in the sole. This is actually round, and no other Kia has it. That's really interesting. That cost them more money to do that.
Yeah, I did.
Also, GT line, look, Brian, we get a flat bottom steering wheel, which I guess insinuates sporting intentions from past models. What? Okay, moving on to the infotainment. We get a controversial round display or bezel here, but square display. So it would be nice if that was round, but I know that would take a lot more work. But you know what? It works. Everything works neat here, and it's the Kia infotainment.
Solid.
Most importantly, what you get here, Brian, is you get the sounds of nature.
That's all that matters.
Oh, that's all that matters. That's what we need.
Rolling meditation.
And volume and tuning knob. It works. You get automatic climate control, dual zone actually in this, and it works quite well, of course. We do have to resort to an actual cable to get to Apple CarPlay. That's a little annoying because we have wireless charging, but then you don't need wireless charging if you have a cable. I don't know why you have both. With that, Brian, let's get on the road and see what kind of ripper the CVT is so Brian can talk about the speaker grills.
Yep.
All right, Brian, we're in the 2023 Kia Soul GT line. I see a lot of red here, red there.
Yep.
Flat bottom steering wheel, like I talked about in the interior. Let's see if that gives us anything on the road, because Brian, you mentioned the CVT, and that might be an issue.
That's the soulless part. Let's see what you got.
Hit it!
There it is. 30, 40, 50, 60. All right.
Hey.
That one was 10.42.
Okay.
But the best we have done is 9.67. And it is 88 degrees, which is cool for us in the summertime.
Not that hot.
Yeah. Look, I want to defend the CVT real quick. If you do it from, like, you're already moving, it's fine.
Yeah.
In terms of its performance, it's like totally acceptable. Out of the hole, because it's a CVT and it has a set range of gear ratio, it just sucks.
Yep. Yeah.
Like just there's no other word for it. It stinks out of the hole.
Brian, I propose, well, Kia's done something. They've renamed it the CVT. They've called it what?
The IVT, Intelligent Variable Transmission.
IVT.
No, I think it's just IVT.
IVT, okay.
Yeah,
nice.
That's a shorthand for it.
Cute, and I love every manufacturer tries to give you all the reasons why the CVT behaves like an automatic, because basically what they're saying is it's not as good as an automatic. Let's just be honest. I have a new proposal.
Okay.
Instead of the IVT or the CVT, let's go back to the roots of this car, and let's call it the hamster wheel.
Thank you so much.
Because it feels like there's a hamster wheel attached to this motor that's not that bad.
Okay, look, let's talk hamster for a minute, because when I first got the email and the contract of this car, the Soul's coming to you, I went, crap. We've been avoiding this car our entire YouTube career, or I have actually my entire life, not because of its competencies or what it is. Actually, this segment of car, which we're going to get into in a minute because it's actually important, I'm not against that. The marketing for this is so rubbish in its infancy. This car started in 2009, so 09 through like say 14, 15, 16, the hamster marketing, I was like, stop it. It's probably
You're not a fan of the hamsters.
And look, I don't have a problem with most marketing. I'm like, look, I'm not gonna like judge the car based on that. I have judged this car based on that marketing because people have watched that ad and bought it anyways. So anyways. But luckily they
Mazda had Zoom Zoom, Nissan had Spider-Man around a Rogue. The hamsters of the Kia though just that's
that
the line?
That was the line.
That's the line.
The line. That was it. Zoom Zoom was good. I was okay with that.
Okay.
All right. Look, all that out of the way, you brought up a really good point about this. This, in terms of styling, is kind of like the Chevy HHR and the Chrysler PT Cruiser were in their day.
Yes.
It's so bold and so striking that it's make or break.
Yes.
And all those cars have started out really strong and then died out quick and become expired. This has avoided that.
For now.
For now, which we're worried. Well,
It's on a good 14-year run.
it is, which are really, like, that's way better than the other two did.
That's, yeah.
Like, substantially. But you think about, and actually its peak sales were in 15. Like, it's gone up, and now it's like, how many units a year now?
50,000.
Okay, that's not nothing.
No.
That's worth building. Okay.
Yeah. But at its peak, it sold 150,000. That's how good this car was to Kia.
Yeah, that's a big number. I mean, most brands would love to have anything over 60,000.
I'll say this: I don't think Kia needs to sell 150,000 anymore because they've got other cars now.
Their
See the
portfolio-
Seltos.
Right. Your portfolio is so stacked now. In fact,
Right.
I would buy the Seltos over this based on aesthetics alone. Although
Sure.
I love the boxiness and the headroom in here. I think it's comfortable. I think it drives good.
I think ergonomically, this is actually better than the Seltos.
I agree. Actually,
But
I do.
this.
Yeah, so because you're stuck, and this is where we get to, is Kia killing this car off or not? That's my question. Because you've had options in the past for every powertrain you can fit in here, and now you're stuck with just a natural aspirated 2-liter in the IVT transmission.
Right.
That seems to me like they're not trying very hard.
Exactly.
But we say that, the interior feels premium. Like, this dash is padded.
padded,
The
yeah.
touch points are good.
Touch points are good. Ergonomics are great.
Ergonomics are great. A lot of people are comfortable in here. It's quiet.
Lane keep works better in this than in so many other brands, and this is
yeah.
a cheap car.
Air quotes cheap, yeah. But yeah, there's full-size premium vehicles that don't lane keep as well as
Nope.
this does, and
Absolutely.
don't have infotainment as good as this.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you're getting a lot for your money here.
You really are.
All that being said, I wish the turbo manual option still existed.
Yes, it's a good car.
a great
Ergonomically,
car.
this is good.
Oh.
And we're going to land on that here in a minute. But before we get to that, this car has almost been a victim of its own buyers. And I'm not trying to offend anybody that's bought this in the past, but there's a certain type of buyer.
You can unsubscribe now. It's okay.
But there's a certain type of person that's bought this car, unfortunately, that's not helped its reputation, which is kind of silly because it's a good
hold
car.
on. Oh, what do you, I'm gonna have to cut this. Can you be more specific with that? What are you saying?
What
Like,
I'm saying
class
is-
of buyers that you're getting at?
Like, so, for example, Mazda's trying to go premium, but
Okay.
you've got a lot of people that have bought Mazdas in the past because they were cheap, reliable cars, and they're holding on to them.
Oh, like
and they
you.
look like me.
In your Mazda
people
too,
like
yeah.
me are ruining Mazda's image. There's also people like me ruining the Kia Soul image.
So you're saying people that bought these in 09, they're still running them in the ground, the wheel covers are missing, they don't
Right.
care,
So
because they're not car people, they want wheels.
Which means it develops this image of like, oh, that's a cheap car that's falling apart. But it's because someone's driven the wheels off of it and not done anything maintenance-wise
and
to
it's
it.
been shockingly good for them.
Right.
But it's actually a testament to the car.
Exactly.
This is kind of like when Hyundai and Toyota find a million-mile product, and they they hang it up and go, look at this, we bought someone a new car because they drove it so long.
In a weird way, because it's a good car, it's almost ruined itself.
And let's get back to another thing. I want to land on this real quick, is that this feels like a premium car in a small package.
Yeah,
And-
road noise is low in this and everything, yeah.
It's doing what Volkswagen did a very long time ago. They did a good small car and made a great hatch, and they've abandoned that now too.
It's doing
That's
what
why-
Volkswagen wishes they could do and sell as
Today.
many of.
Well, yeah, I'm saying, no, I mean 20 years ago they did this,
Yeah.
not anymore.
But they never sold as many.
no, they never sold, that's right, they never
Yeah.
sold as many.
Brian, you said this is a great first car and a great last car.
Yep.
And what you meant by that was, this is if you're a new driver, the sight lines are good, it's
Right.
cheap, it's easy to drive.
Easy to
just
get out of, easy to live with, good starting point in life, right?
Which means it's also a great ending point in life.
Right, when you're-
easy to get in and out of, easy to drive, it doesn't confuse you, it's just simple and straightforward.
So basically we're gonna get one for your daughter and for our mom.
Exactly.
And on that bombshell, thank you for watching the Texas Truck Channel. Stay tuned for this thing going up our hill. It's gonna be very interesting.
See you next time.